A stranger tells me smile, it could be worse, instantly regrets it. I bet you this is a post from a girl that has just a chronic case of RBF. Last week I was out and about making the start on some errands that I had. As I was walking, I was going through my long to-do list in my head, so I wasn't frowning, I wasn't smiling, my face was just in neutral. In other words, she was wearing her RBF. A man starts heading towards me. As we pass, he tells me, "Smile, it could be worse." I stop, stare at him for a moment, and then I say, "My parents were in an accident. My mom died on impact. We're turning off my dad's life support tomorrow." The guy looked at me like a robot being shut down suddenly. His face fell. He looked like a deer in headlights. He stuttered and stammered. He was obviously trying to think of something to say, and when he couldn't, he turned around and walked away. The exact same thing I would have done in his case. My parents are both fine, there was no accident, but it annoys me when people think they have the right to dictate how people are feeling and what expressions they make, especially when they don't know what's going on in their lives. It's unhelpful and patronizing. Imagine telling somebody who is just being given a terminal diagnosis, "Smile, it could be worse." Or someone who has lost a child, been laid off, or is otherwise struggling and in a terrible situation to smile because it could be worse. Huh. I did not expect her to make such a good point at the end. My boyfriend couldn't stop liking half-naked pictures of other women, so I posted one of myself. I can't wait to hear how this was a way of getting revenge on him. Alright, my boyfriend has started following a lot of Instagram women. Not regular ones. I don't mind those, but particularly the ones in lingerie and with their ass out. And even visiting their OnlyFans pages. I told him it made me uncomfortable and to stop, but his response was, "It's just Instagram. You're doing too much. It's not that serious," and he kept doing it. Well, I posted some pictures of me in a G-string bikini, ass out and all. He saw it and started freaking out, slamming doors and yelling. He was like, you don't respect yourself. Girls who do that are hoes. That's embarrassing. I don't want my girlfriend doing that, bro. That's weird. I mean, is he wrong? And he is mad, like really mad. He told me to take it down. I said no. Isn't this what you like to see? And his response was, "You're in a relationship. Why would you do that?" And I said, "I'm only posting what you like." After I said that, he started ignoring me. It's been hours and honestly, I don't care. I don't feel bad at all. For months I was uncomfortable and asked him to stop, and he couldn't, so yeah. Now he's a victim of a crime he participates in. Oh, and we got an edit. Thanks for the replies. I was not expecting this to blow up. For context, I do want to leave, guys, but it's super hard. I don't know. I know that I lack self-love and respect. This story makes 110% more sense now. I realize that I'm following my mom's footsteps and I should change. I can't wait to update you guys when I've officially left. Sorry for the disappointment, guys. Wow. I was going to say something mean, but now I just feel bad for the lady. And for those wondering, there were no pictures of said G-string picture she posted. So, you want to snoop in your daughter's texts? So I'm married to a wonderful woman. She's smart, funny, and very kind. Her mother is generally very nice and tends to have a great attitude and be very enjoyable. A bit of a prude, but generally enjoyable. However, can be a bit of a major snoop. Not surprising he doesn't seem to care for his mother-in-law, but it is surprising he tried to talk so nicely about her. If my wife leaves her phone sitting around, she will just pick it up and start going through it. My wife has kind of laughed this off as a remnant of her being controlling when she was a kid. I'm not a fan of this because my wife and I sometimes text about things that simply don't involve her mother and I don't feel that are her business at all. So over Christmas, I saw my wife set her phone down on the kitchen counter and I had a brilliant idea. Her mom was still in the kitchen and I sent my wife the most sexually depraved text about all the things I was going to do to her when everyone left. Honestly, most of them are things we haven't even done, but I had to make it extra scarring. Something tells me he's lying at that last little part. I sent this text from the bathroom and maybe it was my imagination, but I could swear I heard an audible gasp shortly after her phone went off. When I went out, her mother absolutely would not look me in the eye. Then, not so discreetly, asked her daughter to come talk to her in the other room. Yeah, she snooped. When my wife came back in the living room, I thought she had been crying. However, upon closer inspection, she was laughing. Her mother had questioned her about my sexually abusing her and if I was always talking to her like that. My wife had told her calmly that what we do is between us and us only. Probably the best gift of this Christmas. That's going to be a 0 out of 10 on the petty revenge, but a 10 out of 10 on the trolling. I put vegetables in all my food to stop my roommate's kid from eating it. Mom threatens legal action. Wouldn't mom be the roommate? Yeah, wouldn't mom be the roommate? Let's read on. I posted I posted this before on a different sub, but I figured it would be appreciated if I got I posted this before on a different sub, but I figured it would be appreciated here and I have more things to add. I'm guessing I'll probably post it in an I'm the asshole. Original post. I posted this in another forum but received lots of comments telling me to post it here as well. I'm 26, I live in a rented house with a single mother who's 30 and her son who is 6. I had another person living with me but they moved out and the mother moved in. So a total of 4 people, so the kid's grandma? I don't mind living with her and her kid, it's fine, and we do our own kind of thing. I spend a lot of time at my boyfriend's place or working. Our work schedules collide, so we really don't interact much, but when we do, it's fine, no issue there. I want to start with saying that she clearly struggles financially, but I don't think that's an excuse. I want to start with saying that she clearly struggles financially, but I don't think that's an excuse. I don't make lots of money either. However, I've noticed that my food would go missing or portions would be taken from it. I assumed it was her kid, so I asked her if she'd stop him from eating my food. I was calm about it and she just said she would. It didn't really upset me when it first started. It started getting annoying when I get home from work and expect to have a meal's worth of leftovers in the fridge only to see it picked through or just gone. I kept bringing it up and she kept getting annoyed with me bringing it up. Just from observing them, I realized that neither of them ever eat vegetables. And judging by the food that would get picked through and the food that would be untouched, anything with green in it was avoided. Ah, smart kid. Orange chicken would be gone, but chicken and broccoli would be untouched. So I started putting vegetables in everything. I find vegetables to be delicious, and anything green or not a potato does not get eaten. So I could mix some bell peppers into the food and it would be fine. I make a big portion of vegetables pretty frequently anyway, so I just started putting it in everything I eat. If I had leftover mashed potatoes, I'd pour green beans in and mix it up. If I had any leftover cheesy bacon fries, I'd pour broccoli all over it and mix it all in. Okay, and again, I'm gonna have to ask, which one of you are you hurting with this petty revenge? Usually my homemade stuff has vegetables in it, but I started making sure everything did. I made a pot of mac and cheese, the kids' favorite thing, and poured in roasted Brussels sprouts, which is actually delicious to me and I'm eating more vegetables so it's a win-win. Okay, I think she's just kind of lying and coping here. Dumping all these vegetables into every single thing willy-nilly can't taste that good. Especially Brussels sprouts. She had been seeming annoyed, but we were all home when I made the pot of mac and cheese. She was in the living room and saw me get out the Brussels sprouts and was like, "What are you going to do with that?" And I poured them in. She said I was being greedy and annoying. I just said, "I like Brussels sprouts," and that was it. She said, "We need food," and I told her to go get some, or stop buying only prepackaged things and your money will go further. I think she sees this as some big act of revenge, but I simply want to be able to eat my food. The length of this post makes it seem like you also think this is some kind of act of revenge, and that is poster and petty revenge. Also want to add that the sharing is not the issue. It's expected to have food there and it's not. So often I'd be working a long day, get home expecting to have a meal's worth of food and it'd all be gone. Or I wake up in a rush and have my food ready to eat in the morning only to find it gone. So now I have to skip breakfast. If she would simply text sometimes, "Hey, is it okay if we eat insert food item?" I would know and know to make other plans. I will stop for food, or know I have to whip something up when I get home. Also, I think eating the last of someone's food is crazy and rude. If someone makes a big pot of something and you ask for a serving, sure. But if someone made something and there's just one serving left and you eat it without permission, that is evil as hell. Okay, so that's the original post, and now for an equally long update. So I've been steadfast with putting vegetables in everything. I've put vegetables in things I've never even thought of. This is carried on and the mom calls me a jerk but will not verbalize that she is eating my food. She just sees me making lasagna and adding celery and bell peppers and the layers of fumes off to the side. The only thing I can't add vegetables to is snacks like chips, or if I bake brownies or cookies. All she would have to do is just dump the vegetables willy-nilly into the baking mix and let it cook like she does with all her other foods. Unless she knows that cookies and brownies get ruined when you dump veggies in them. Yeah, ruin the food but not the dessert. That'll show that pesky kid and his mom. However, this is easily remedied by putting baked goods in a Tupperware and keeping them in my room. Same with chips. As I have previously stated, the sharing is not the issue. Recently, the kid knocked on my door and asked if he would have a bag of microwave popcorn. I said yes and gave him one. All of this would be way less annoying if she just texted and say, "Hey, can I have some of this?" and waited for my response before just helping herself. I do feel for the mom because she clearly struggles with cooking and trying new foods. She is older than me and winces at the thought of biting into anything green. And it is spreading to her kid, but it's no excuse. A few days ago, I was making taco meat out of ground beef, and like usual, she was looking without looking. She was off to the side, watching every move, but trying to look normal. I made a dish the day before that involved sauteed mushrooms and cut up bell peppers. So when the meat was almost ready, I opened the fridge, and she freaked when she saw me holding the mushrooms. She said her son's name hates mushrooms, and I just poured them in the pan and mixed them along with the cut up peppers. This caused her to react in a way I'd never seen before. She was yelling and stomping around the kitchen while the kid just watched. Oh, so a reverse tantrum situation. Okay, this is awesome. I felt bad for the kid to have to see his mom like that. People were worried about her tampering with my food. I don't think she's the kind to do that, but if she did, I would report that right away. She was flipping out, but she didn't snatch my food or knock anything over. She was opening and slamming cabinets, and it was all very silly. Then she started going off about how she's going to get the authorities involved. I just told her, sure, and that she needs to relax. She seemed genuinely upset and stressed, and I told her that I understand. Being a single mom is hard, but she needs to use her government assistance more responsibly. She'll come home with cold mac and cheese, sushi, and chicken from the grocery store, prepared foods, and blow all of it on that. I suggested food pantries and buying ingredients that last a while, like potatoes. She said I was being condescending and I always have food to eat. This is to address the just make a portion of your food and set it aside for her and her kid argument. I do not make enough money to regularly feed 2 other people. Okay, so that's what it is. It's only 3 people in the house. If every now and then she asked for some of my leftovers, sure, but this is a constant thing that was happening. It's not simple as giving her leftovers that I won't eat anyway. If I make a pot of something, I expect to live off that for the next few days. If it is eaten, then my money is messed up and I have to go shopping again and budget for more food. Waste my time and my money. Oh, Jesus, why don't these idiots just go grocery shopping together?